If I have to summarize in one line, it was very, very focused, right, and purpose-driven, right. The themes which you had overall across the BFSI and the NBFC segment was more deep dive and focused, right. So that was the takeaway for me personally to have come over and shared our insights and spend time with the other fellow dignitaries here. So a big thank you for that. Yeah. So the concept of marketplace, obviously, if I have to look at historically, came from the traditional trade, which was used to get done in form of marketplaces, to e-commerce, which really kind of gave a digital avatar to it, or a digital reborn of that as a marketplace, to now, as the country focuses on financial inclusion and democratization, it's more obvious than not that the BFSI as an ecosystem also have to adopt and pivot into a marketplace model as one of their enablers to cater to the larger consumer ecosystem, right, and drive growth. Yeah. So let me answer the last question first. How come Truecaller's business products, which is part of Truecaller for Business, right? So the way we look at those products which we've built and today been adopted by the larger ecosystem, including banking and financial services, is that these products add value for two stakeholders, right? First, the users, obviously, for whom obviously we are the enabler around trust and safe communication, and then obviously businesses. So it's a very win-win thing that the products which you have built, starting with CX, right? CX is a big enabler for any banking and financial services companies in today's world and their future evolution. And obviously with digital being the crucible of it, right? And that's where a lot of businesses and a lot of users said that how can we help them enable a trusted communication and a proactive communication, which is B2C to B, right? So that is where we started with our customer experience solution with identity and context around calling and messaging solutions over the last few years. So while that scaled up with banks and insurance companies calling or interacting with their users and further enhancing trust based on the context of such communication, be it security and transaction monitoring, be it service and safety and NPS, and obviously helping their customers to do more with them mutually. The next part, which many of those banking and financial services customers kind of started talking to us or having conversation, was that as democratization of credit started happening, specifically the new to credit and unsecured lending, and again Truecaller being the world's largest identity platform of its kind, that how can we help them with alternate insights, right? Absolutely at an abstract level, nothing to do with users, but given the ecosystem of the community which we have and their inputs, AI, ML, that to kind of help them, which are those users could be good users, which of the users could be potentially bad users, and in a way leverage those signals to help them do good with more good users, right, in terms of lending and credit, and identify the bad users, which are essentially nothing but fraudsters and scammers who are serial in nature, to kind of prevent them from kind of getting access to credit, because it impacts again three stakeholders. It kind of increases risk in their business. It obviously spawns more bad actors. And it impacts, more importantly, the good actors. Otherwise, they could have kind of got access to better loans and credit, right? So that is where we are trying to solve again. The good users should benefit at the end of the day. And obviously, businesses like NBFCs, banks who are getting more and more into democratized lending with products of ours around risk intelligence. Yeah, so it's been, I think, very extremely positive reaction in the last 3.5 years. We have launched this business as part of Truecaller, right? So for example, globally, and large part of that is India, we have 2,500 plus business customers, right? And out of that, a major part is in India, right? And if you look at the kind of customers whom we are powering their communication are essentially the obvious names in banks and insurance industries, like from HDFC to ICICI to the top insurance companies, and obviously e-commerce, travel, so on and so forth. So we have really not seen that it's just one industry vertical where we are powering that. So it has been really well democratized in terms of access. It's part of CX in communication powered by our business, verified business identity products. And then now, obviously, the use cases, as I mentioned, they're asking that how can we make our communication more predictable, more preemptive, more feedbacks can we get from a user so that we can make our communication more tuned so that we make the time which we spend our users more productive. So that's why we launched around a lot of the feedback extension of our verified business products so that users with choice can give them that, hey, how do I want to engage with you as a business? So that's the CX part of it. And then, as I said, as digitization is scaling, as a side effect, fraud and scam and spam is also increasing. And that is where they again come back as an extension that what can you help us with identifying potential fraudsters and scamsters with any kind of signaling system, right? And that is the next area which we are now focusing on to kind of extend that, hey, create a more, I would say, a good ecosystem where the good thrives and the bad actors gets isolated and kind of nullified. Yeah, so again, risk intelligence is a product where we saw again a lot of businesses and a lot of industry conversations around that, how fraud and scam have got more sophisticated in nature more and more, right? With now AI related frauds happening, etc., right? So it's a problem which every company, every management is discussing, that digitization is great. We want to do business with more users or consumers in the ecosystem by giving them credit or by helping them bank with us, right? By selling more kind of products which are as per the needs of those customers, right? But then how do they ensure they manage those risks and manage their non-performing assets, NPAs as you call? So that is where when we kind of having had conversations with them, and they wanted obviously our global identity platform, how they can leverage as kind of identity and signals with powered by us. And that is where we said we will kind of launch this risk intelligence product as a signaling system, nothing to do with user data, nothing to do with data privacy. It's a very, very abstracted form of signaling system which is based on network level kind of behavioral patterns, right? So that's where we forayed into the risk intelligence domain, right? And in fact, we acquired a recent company called Trust Checker. It's been kind of there for a while, kind of doing some good work in that space. So kind of further bolster our offering so that it helps those businesses to make better credit decisions, manage fraud, and at the end of the day, enhance more consumer safety in their ecosystems, right? So that's where the risk intelligence product is going to focus more and more and help. Again, we exist because we help our own users and help businesses.